Oh, good morning, you guys. It is blistering out. Let me get this. Let me get us a little set up, or whatever. Good morning. It is Tuesday. I'm on my way to work. Apparently, I don't know how to work tech. This isn't even technology. It's just that cold out there this morning, you guys. All right. All right. Perfect. We're in here. I need some chapstick or something because these lips are. I think because of the mask, I'm starting to get chapped more. We're gonna talk. I need to be driving. It melted. I'm still gonna try to use it though. Anyways, we're here to talk about Sunday's episode of The Real Housewives of Potomac. The fight has happened. We have all guilty in some kind of manner enjoyed the fight. Oh, that feels good. And in this episode, we are talking about the aftermath of said fight between Monique and Candace. So, the show opens. I think Monique reached out to Karen so that Karen could get the ladies together. Good morning. I think Monique reached out to Karen to get the ladies together for, I guess, a meeting. They were having pastries and stuff. So brunch, you know. I guess everybody agreed to show up. Well, Karen reaches out. Everyone agrees to show up except Candace. Rightfully so. Candace and Monique have had all that tension going on this season that you can't really blame Candace for not wanting to show up. One of the major parts of the episode that we witnessed was Candace going to see Dr. Ken. It was like a therapy meeting, and I kind of, for the most part, most of what Candace says I agree with. She feels like what she did did not warrant the physical violence from Monique. I'm so sorry, you guys. I wish I had time to stop and get a coffee. She says the physical violence wasn't warranted from Monique, which she's right. Like, nothing. She did apologize. She apologized profusely this season, right? But I guess, like, I feel like when Candace apologized, in her mind, the day reset, right? So it's like, oh, I might have stepped on your foot, but I said I'm sorry, so we're gonna move on and the day's gonna be new tomorrow. Whereas Monique was tallying up, good morning, Tammy, where Monique was tallying up the apologies. So it got to a point where, like, you get five apologies and you get one free ass whooping. Excuse my language. It is early. I apologize. So, like, Candace has been apologizing all season long, almost to the point where I was getting a little exhausted with her apologies, and we're probably like halfway through the seasons. Oh, thank you, Tammy. I need to focus on this road. Just joking. Where was I? Candace was talking with the therapist, Dr. Ken. We've seen Dr. Ken and her talk from previous seasons. We've seen him, her, and her mother sit down for a session where her mom felt really ganged up on. But in this scene, we see Candace and Dr. Ken. They're discussing the fight. to the point where he asked her, like, do you feel like you did nothing to contribute to what happened? And Candace says no, she didn't feel like she did anything. But I don't know. I feel like she might have the right to feel that way. Like she hasn't done anything, but she was doing stuff, and she racked up some points the night of the winery with all the antics. Of course she's crying. I feel like her and Monique's friendship isn't as over as a lot of people think. You know, we've witnessed a fight on these type of shows before, and sometimes the girls come back together, sometimes they don't. I think I think Candace and Monique are gonna be like a Mariah Huck and Toya Wright kind of situation. Where like, we don't talk about mamas, but then they end up really, really good friends later on down the season once they've apologized and stuff. Candace may have to become a mom before they can reconcile. Only because it only seems like Monique has respect for women who have birthed children. And that's not anything bad on her, but like when she can't shame Candace anymore for not understanding how tired and how this and how that moms can be. They'll reconcile. We move on from there, and yesterday. Okay. Love to hear that. Oh, excuse me, you guys. The sun is like beaming right in our face. That's not gonna like. It helped. So. So we move on from there and we go right to Karen's house. Karen has invited all the ladies. Robin has been on time. Like, Robin's like, I'm not going to be late this season. They're not going to say that I was late. Because Robin, for the past couple of episodes, Robin has been the first to show up at an event. So they can no longer call her late Robin. So Robin gets there first. Then, I believe Ashley, I don't know. All I know is Ashley brought Dean, again, bringing the baby somewhere where it's just like contradictory, because she didn't want Dean to be around her and Michael arguing, but you bring Dean into an environment where like the chances or the possibilities of someone arguing being much higher. Giselle brought a bodyguard, which I don't think anyone had a problem with security being there. I think they had a problem with Giselle bringing her own personal security, because Karen was like, come on, what are you talking about, Giselle? You know I have security. Like, so that was just Giselle being extra, but also Giselle and Monique don't have the best relationship, and a lot of people think it's because Giselle has been hating on Monique ever since she got on the show, which it's been because Giselle has been hating on Monique ever since she got on the show. Like, it is what it is. Like, you didn't like her ever since she stated she has 4 homes, and now she got 4 homes and she got them hands. So you really don't like her. So Giselle shows up with her own bodyguard, and everybody's like giving her the eyes, but they know it's Giselle. We get into the talking about it. They asked Monique to recount her side of what happened, what actually went down. She says she felt the pull first, like she does acknowledge that she flipped her hair first. Like, somehow that being acknowledged to me, excuse me, that's probably really bouncy. Somehow that being acknowledged to me, right, like, isn't enough. Because it's like, at the point where you can innocently say, I flipped her hair, like it was nothing. Like, girl, you know how we flip each other's hair in argument all the time. You know? Just, I flipped her hair, you know? Like, Monique, at least have some remorse, like the ladies were saying, because they wanted Monique to be remorseful. So at least have some remorse for your action in that moment. At least the hair flip, you know, because Monique continued on to go on and say, I apologize that I let her bring me out of my character. Now, I am good for out of my character. This is so jumpy today, you guys. I'm sorry. You're gonna have vertigo, and it's still jumpy. I don't know what to do right now. We're gonna have to get a new one of these, I guess. I did not catch that comment, but I'm gonna go back on later and I'm gonna read the comments. So, okay. The hair flips didn't contribute to the fight not happening. Let's just say that, right? Like, they didn't stop the fight from happening. They didn't soothe the beast within Candace. You know, so like, jumping ahead back to the other point that I was making, I'm sorry, where she says, I'm sorry I let her bring me out of my character. I am good for a bring me out of my character apology, which is not a real apology. Like, when you're essentially, when you're apologizing for letting somebody bring you out of your character, you're placing all the blame on that person. Like, if she wasn't acting like a raggedy behind monkey, I would have been cool and chill. But I let her bring me out of my character. That's what that kind of apology is. It's so half behind. Like, and I'm surprised Reasonable Robin, it took her so long to have a problem with what Monique was saying, because, like, somebody bringing you out of your character, and I get it, she says she's been go, she hasn't been able to, like, process everything, the adrenaline's running, and all of that, but at some point, a week after the fight, and the adrenaline's still running, you haven't had a moment to process. How busy are these ladies? Like, you know, I want to be successful, and I know that's going to come with a certain amount of being busy, right? Like, you don't get anywhere just sitting on your behind. But how busy are these ladies to where, like, Ray is irritated with with Karen's, you know, running the business, and Giselle and Jamal have to, like, they gotta, like, set up appointments through his assistant. Like, what all do they have going on that the show is not showing us? Because I'm gonna be honest, I'm kind of done with the fight. I don't want to hear any more of it. Monique wasn't she cried and she felt like she was being apologetic, but she could have kept that apology. She could have kept it, because, like, she said she was embarrassed. Granted, be embarrassed, you know, like it was something to be embarrassed about, right? But to have no remorse, to say, okay, it just made it seem like she was proud of her actions, you know? Like, and if she did it again, boop, 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 get off me, get off, you know? Like, So I understood where the ladies were coming from. Robin felt like Monique almost had her, but Monique was leaking story. Monique says she didn't leak the stories to the blogs. Here's how I feel Monique leaked stories to the blogs, right? I remember a while ago, when I had just like come into knowing knowing of DJ Richie Sky's channel on YouTube, right? He and a bunch of other like show reviewers were getting these like exclusives with Monique, or they were like, Monique was reaching out to let them know that she watches and supports and all of that, right? And then from that point on, it's like the love from all of these different channels for Monique went ride or die, right? To the point where they are not interested in talking to Chris Bassett or whatever. That's influence, Monique. You might not be paying these blogs, you might not be trying to tell them anything, but the fact that you went out, you were the only one, and this is probably a fault on the other ladies that they weren't thinking so wisely. But you went out, you befriended all of these blogs, and then a story comes out, and it's in your favor. You were in the wrong. Everybody there says you were in the wrong. You know, nobody's gonna spin it. You know, only person that could spin it in your favor would have been Ashley, and Ashley was in the bathroom, right? So all the other ladies at the table felt like you were in the wrong, and Candace isn't gonna leak a story to the press about her getting her behind. So Monique says she didn't leak it. Somebody in her camp, one of her friends, she told a friend, and then one of her friends told the press or told the blogs, Monique, why are you around so many snakes? Like, Gigi tried to start the rumor about you and Chris. This friend's leaking stuff to the... Why are you around so many snakes? Because birds of a feather flock together. There's something about the appearance that Monique like really is holding on to, and appearances matter. Yes. Sometimes you react how you react, and there's nothing about it. There's nothing you can do about it, right? But whatever. We're moving on from that. Giselle's pulled out her phone. She started taking notes because, you know, Giselle and Monique have never been friends. They've never had a friendship. They were trying to establish something earlier on this season. I don't think Giselle's harboring anything from the Sherman thing now that she's back with Jamal, right? But I don't think you needed to give her any bigger reason to dislike Monique other than her seeing this fight, you know? So with Giselle, Giselle and Monique weren't going to be friends, you know? Monique tried to fight Robin that one season with the umbrella. She has a history of being a little bit aggressive. Not aggressive, I don't like that word when it comes to speaking about black women. She has a tendency to be hot-headed and confrontational. You know, so with that, you know, with those things in mind, with her and the Robin situation, her and the Ashley situation, her and the Candace situation, drag you pregnant and all, throwing like, she has a history of being confrontational. So Giselle knowing that she is not Monique's favorite person, it made sense to me a little bit to why Giselle would have brought her own security. You know, like, this girl, each and every season, she gets a little bit more physical with the ladies. Don't let the next time be my turn, because she already don't like me, you know. And this is me pontificating in Giselle's mind, right, to why she would bring her own security. She started taking notes on her phone. Wendy is going hard in the paint. Wendy is like, you're not remorseful. You said you'd kill her. You're running out back. Monique's like, oh, I blacked out. I understand blacking out. There's been times I enjoy zoning out during the day sometimes, but I've never zoned out or blacked out so much to where there was movement involved. Like, you blacked out, walked downstairs around the building, like, what drug is that and where do they sell it? Because that's not a blackout I'm ever used to seeing. It could very much so be a blackout. I'm just not. I've never been privy to one of those. But Monique blacked out. And Candy, not Candy. What is her name? Wendy. Wendy is like, I am a CNN commentator, and granted, it's not hard to see where these women were coming from. A lot of people feel like they're throwing out like the respectability politics and an old mindset or rhetoric that, you know, we can't have moments. And I don't think that's not, I don't, what I've been taught, you guys, is that our moments seem to be a little bit more grander than other moments, you know? I am the youngest of three, so a temper tantrum I know how to throw. As I got older, my temper tantrums, like an older black person, had to sit me to the side and was like, you know, your temper tantrums, like, well, I was like, I just had a moment. I got mad. I didn't know how to handle that emotion, so it was an outburst. It says, yours doesn't look like theirs because of your demographic, because of your brown skin, because of who you are, because of how tall you are. Your temper tantrum doesn't look like theirs, so it's not going to come off the same, you know? And it's because of a narrative that I didn't put in play, but it's because there's a narrative there. So what they're saying to Monique is, like, girl, yeah, we can understand it happens, but to happen with cameras there, to happen like, and you weren't stopping. You didn't give a crap about image at that point, you know? Like, we're supposed to be, especially where they live, you know, like they're in the DC area, they're around, like, apparently when you acquire a certain amount of money, you move out of the fist fighting realm, right? Not to say that it doesn't happen once again, but once you move to this certain zip code where the violence is a lot less and the schools are better and there's a Whole Foods and there's this and that, how often do you think those ladies are seeing fights, you know? And then for these to be like, these are black with a QUE people, you know? They're like, Karen's the grand dame, right? So like it was a bit much. And I don't blame Candace for throwing out the ghetto hood rat stuff, because in that setting, that's gonna be me cursing. You know, if I could say, because what I really want to say to this other person of color could go a whole nother way. So I'm gonna say, you know, we can relate on this. This is ghetto. No matter what race you are, whatever, fighting in public, not give, like, we all have something to uphold and something to, like, as we get older, we have things that we want to protect, right? And she's a mom, you know. So with that being said, like, what could that fight have done for her brand, you know? And then to come on and not be remorseful, like, oh, all the ladies over there at Not for Lazy Moms are whooping ass. Like, Who else was there and said something? Karen didn't really say anything until Robin called her out and said, Karen, you're supposed to be the moderator and you're not moderating anything. And then that's when Karen was like, I'm gonna need y'all to stop yelling in my house, when they've been yelling the whole other time. Ashley said yes, everything, it was wrong, but can we find a way to help her? How do we help somebody who isn't ready to acknowledge that something went down? You know, how do we say, hey, outside of, Monique's like, I'm talking to my pastor. That is awesome if that pastor has a psychology degree. And that's what Wendy was saying when Karen shot back with the oh, prayer heals everything. Prayer alone is useless. You have to put some action behind it, because if you pray that you want to win the lottery and you never buy a ticket, how you gonna win the lottery? Like, so I got 4 minutes to get to work. Good morning, Amber. And they're holding up the traffic. I always be like this much around the corner and stuff happens. Good morning. So that's where they were coming from. It was just like, okay, we get it. You say you're gonna do the prayers, do the work and all of that. But what the ladies really wanted to hear was like, especially, okay, Robin was giving her a play-by-play of the fight. There must have been nothing like being there, because she was like, you were splashed in the face with red wine and Candace had white wine. I said, oh, I didn't even notice that. I just saw the splash. I swore Candace had thrown it on her. But even with that, to know that, like, okay, so I flipped her hair. The ladies are telling me that, Giselle is telling me that she pushed me back, even though, like, Candace did flip her lapel. Like, after hearing all of these things, like, especially if I thought I was in the right for putting my hands on somebody, and somebody comes to me with like three good reasons of why I should have kept my hands to myself, at that point something should have snapped on in there, like oh wow, okay, so I think I might owe her an apology, because here's what I thought had happened, but now in retrospect, because things are 2020, hindsight is 2020. Now in retrospect, I think I owe her an apology. And then you can still give her one of those good half behind apologies you like giving out. I'm sorry I'm sorry I let you bring me out of my character. I wouldn't have put my hand on you if I didn't think that you splashed me with a drink, flipped me, and tried to hit me with a glass. Like, so I am sorry. Like, I'm sorry. But, like, with that being said, okay, this episode to me was interesting. I did enjoy it. It didn't feel satisfying. Like, I wanted a resolve to the fight so we can move on and we can have more fun this season. It feels like this fight is talking about it is going to drag on for the rest of the season, and it has left a weird energy within the group, to where, like, fights now are going to seem like the norm. And I don't know where this show is going to follow up, because we had that fight in Married to Medicine, and every season since, there's been moments where, like, there was about to be a fight. Mariah broke a glass on Heavenly. She said she sliced and diced or whatever. I think she got what she deserved. Monique has been tired since her first season. No shade, true to. Okay, she. I don't know what Candace deserved really. The ladies say she have a lot. She has a lot of mouth. I have not witnessed a lot of mouth on Candace. And the people that she has had beef with in the past has been Ashley. She went way too hard on Ashley. Um, did her last season her and Monique had a beef? I wasn't really sure why they were beefing, but then there was a resolve. So like, what what does Candace deserve really? Like when she first came on, I was on her side because I didn't like Charisse. And she was eating Charisse up in the car when Charisse was calling her all kind of little girls and everything like that. Candace has matured a lot, and I'm not I'm by no means her biggest fan. I'm not Monique's biggest fan, but I don't dislike Monique either. Monique's actions as they pertain to the show are just disappointing to me because this image that she puts out and for the past couple of seasons has tried so hard to protect, you know, going hard on Ashley about the drinking thing. Like, I'm a mom, I'm a businesswoman, all of this stuff that I gotta X, Y, and Z. Do you know what that can do to my image? And you out here fighting. So, just a little bit disappointed with Monique's actions this season. And I get it. Like, we're all humans. I probably would have reacted the same way as Monique when paranoia, when not liking someone, paranoia, and feeling like you're seeing everything from all sides. Like, I'm seeing it. Nobody's understanding how I'm seeing it, right? Because I think why she is so defensive, and I'm about to be late for work. I'm going to take you guys with me. I think why she is being so defensive is because the ladies aren't like, they're not, she feels like they're not listening or they're not getting it from her side. You know what I'm saying? Like, I told them this girl hit me, and I need them to say, "Oh my God, Monique, yeah, she totally did hit you," but they're not saying that. They're saying you hit her first. You get what I'm saying? Putting hands on people because of an argument, like that is schoolhouse mentality. Grow up and use your words. Exactly. We're grown out here. We got stuff to lose. I used to be wild in my younger years, right? Now I got like bills and car notes and stuff that I can't miss work for because I want to put hands on somebody. You know, the three the 3 days that I would have happily spent in somebody's jailhouse at the age of 18 is no longer suitable for my grown behind at the age of 30. You know, so with that said, you guys, I gotta get in here to work. I am so glad we had this talk this morning. It was bumpy. I'm trying to get the swing of things. I'm coming back and I'm gonna read some of these. I'm so glad. You guys, I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. I'm so happy you spent time with me this morning. Bye. And as always, I love ya. Mwah. Bye.